Hey Ed, how's it going today, brother?
I had a great day today, Denny, and after you and I did the Discovery Channel this week, it's been a fun week, and I'm having a new computer built. What's on your mind?
I finally actually got some sleep yesterday after doing the Discovery Channel this week, because I didn't sleep 2 days before, the night before, or any of that. It's because the adrenaline was just so intense. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't do anything, and it seems like the only thing I did was sit here and just kind of freak. And our great friend Pat Uskert from UFO Hunters told me that he was like that the first couple of shows, but it wears away.
Yeah, what
hectic.
You had mentioned,
but grateful.
Yeah, you had mentioned something last night about Edwards, and I had to get off. So, what was it you wanted to know?
Oh, I know what. Did you talk about the DUMBs, the deep underground military bases, or the underground military structures that are under Edwards Air Force Base that you had been in before when you were at your interview at the Discovery Channel?
Well, actually, first of all, they asked me what advanced military programs I was involved in. And in August of 1973, I had severed my order, and I was DOA, and I survived that. And when I was on convalescent leave, they were trying to give me a medical discharge, so I managed to get an assignment to Edwards Air Force Flight Test Center. And I went there in, I think, 1 October of 1973, and I was assigned to a squadron there that was doing research and development and flight operation, test and evaluation of new aircraft. The first one was the newest version and updates on the F-111, and then eventually we got into the brand new F-15 Strike Eagle, which was fascinating. It was the first aircraft that had more thrust than weight, and it could actually, it could actually accelerate going straight up. And I worked on the Strike.
It was actually the Streak Eagle.
Yes, the Streak Eagle. We took all the weight off of it we could, all the extra avionics and flight control surfaces, and we sanded that thing down to stainless steel and metal, and they'd fire that thing up to afterburners, and we'd pull the chocks. That thing would roll like 100 feet and then go straight up.
Any of you boys and girls out there, or guys and gals in YouTube land, I'll put a link right here below the video. I'll put a link to the Streak Eagle. It was a very fascinating project Ed worked on. They basically stripped the thing down like you would a race car, lightened it up as much as possible, and its thrust to speed ratio was so great it could travel straight up in the air. That was the only craft that could do that for the longest time until the F-22 Raptor came along.
Yes, in fact, it broke all of the world records for time to climb records. So anyway, I was at Edwards, and I worked on research and development of the latest mod of the F-111, and then the F-15, and then I got assigned to the brand new F-16, which everybody was dubious of because it only had one engine. And if you stall in a single-engine fighter, then you're
screwed.
You're in trouble. Absolutely, screwed's a good word. So, and then I worked on.
To anybody out there who doesn't know, an F-16, the way you remember an F-16 is an F-16's got a single engine. The F-15, the odd number one's got 2 engines. So it's kind of weird. The odd number's 2, the even numbers are 1. And for those of you who don't know, there's a lot of us that are into aircraft and stuff like that that prefer the F-15 way over the F-16.
Yes,
like myself, I like dual engines.
The F-15 Falcon had great performances, but what's funny is the F-117, no, excuse me, the F-17 that flew off against it actually outperformed it, but because of politics, the F-16
And
was
the
selected.
F-17 was the Navy's version, correct?
Yes. The Navy selected the F-17. So, and then I worked the original B-1 aircraft, which was canceled by Carter because of, and the cost overruns weren't that great. But anyway, Carter canceled it, and then I worked on the A-10 Warthog, which was a fascinating airplane. Man. Carl Bellinger was
any of you out there on YouTube land, I'm going to post a video right below here, a YouTube video link of the A-10 Warthog, and they're still using it in Afghanistan. And when you hear the A-10 the A-10 Warthog's guns go off, you won't believe it. It just goes. You hear this, like this. It's a massive machine gun. Yeah, and you see Taliban flying through the air. It's incredible.
Let me tell you about this. They used a General Electric GAU-8 Gatling gun that fired 4,000 rounds per minute of 30 millimeter shells, and I'm talking in huge shells. And they could.
I saw them. They're unbelievable.
In the first Iraqi war, they could pop one burst, and then pop the tank, top of a tank turret off like a nuke. It hit it. It was incredible. And then the Air Force tried to retire it, saying it wasn't needed, and all the pilots in the Air Force saying like bullshit.
They love it.
Not only that,
controllable.
The A-10 could outperform and outmaneuver a Cessna 150 Aerobat. It could turn within its own wing radius.
It can fly at very slow speeds, and there's a video from Afghanistan that's incredible. And there's a gentleman on there, which I'll post the video below right here, boys and girls. And what's so incredible about it is the A-10 Warthog comes along, and all these Marines and Army guys, they get all warmed up. They're like, yeah, here we go. And this is the worst we got. This is the worst machine we got, and the oldest machine we got. And all of a sudden you hear this, and you just see all these Taliban just running for their lives, and the noise is just enough to absolutely terrify a person. If you have an understanding of what this thing fires off, 3,000 rounds a minute of 30, how big, Ed?
30 caliber. I mean, yeah, 30 millimeter, excuse me, yeah, 30 caliber. They were huge. They were like this big.
And very accurate. Very accurate. They can pick guys off the top of the mountains, and they don't even have to be that accurate, because when you're firing 3,000 rounds a minute, the only thing that's keeping you from holding that gun in too long is the heat that it creates. But let me tell you something. The A-10 is still in support right now, and it's one of the Air Force's best
let me tell you,
fighters that we have right now against the Taliban.
Let me tell you a few things, Danny. First of all, there's a titanium bathtub around the pilots that protect them. Secondly, you can lose a wing or the whole tail section, and this aircraft can still land. It's almost like a World War II bomber with two General Electric turbofan engines. The damn thing can be half shot up and land. And secondly, when Carl Bellinger, who I knew personally, was the #1 test pilot on the A-10, the first time he flew it, and he fired that GAU-8 Gatling gun at 4,000 rounds per minute, it frosted over the whole canopy. The flash heat and smoke, the flash heat and smoke frosted his windows. So when he was trying to land this thing, he had to pop his canopy and look out the window in order, put his face out there at 100-something miles an hour, because it had a very low stall speed, and had to look out the window and land the damn thing. So eventually they elongated the nose and the length of the front facing of the Gatling gun, so that the flash, and then they went to a smokeless, low flash powder for the 30 millimeter shells, and that solved the problem. So from there I went on to the original B-1. I didn't work on it very long because it was canceled by Carter, and then
Was that the B-1 Lancer?
Yes, and then you were asking about some tunnels they had at Edwards. And
yeah,
I was assigned to a project at Jet Propulsion Laboratories, which is run out of Goldstone, UCLA in California. In fact, the funny side note is that JPL now owns all of NASA's pictures and photographs, so when people file FOAs, they don't have access to them. But anyway, I was out at JPL, and my buddy Jerry Ellerick, he was a staff sergeant, I was a tech sergeant at the time, and then
he was your best friend in the military.
Yeah, he's my best friend for many years until he died of a heart attack. So
very respectful man.
Everywhere we worked, like if he was working night shift or I was working day shift, we'd go out and visit each other because we had to get away from the wife and kids once in a while. And we were out at JPL, and he said, I got to go down in the tunnels and check the sensors to make sure there's no gas leaks or radiation or anything like that. So I said, okay. I said, I've only been in tunnel number 1. So we went down this elevator to tunnel number 1, and it had to be 50 to 100 feet under the ground. And we go down, and the tunnel's basically only 20 feet across, and it has all these lines, electrical lines, gas lines. It's got these emergency red lights with the little steel covers on them to protect them, and the bottom part is concrete. Then we're walking along and just shooting the hell and bullshitting, and all of a sudden we get to this tunnel entrance that's got a key code on it, and the damn thing is like 60 feet across. And we were going, what the hell is that? And Jerry said, look, there's rails in the concrete, and they come through the door. Like 2 feet beyond the door, there were rails. There were 2 sets of rails, and obviously you're going like, okay, there's a rail system under here, and if there's 2 sets of rails, that means one vehicle or rail car can be going one direction, and the other be coming in the other direction, and we were just absolutely baffled. And it wasn't.
Well, it's always been rumored that that goes to Tonopah and Groom. It would obviously go to Groom because of the days they used to drive a tractor trailer up into Groom with a big weird shaped box like the ox cart went through. But the underground tunnels have been rumored to be able to fit a 737 width-wise and be able to drive or tow that baby the whole way through to Groom. Is there any truth to that?
Well, you figure 6 feet wide, that's wider than the center core or of any aircraft, minus the wings and the vertical stabilizer.
Your tail section, your vertical stabilizer's 40 feet tall.
So if you took off the vertical stabilizer and the wings, you could transport any kind of aircraft. And the wing routes.
That's exactly how they used to do it back in the day.
They'd put them on. They'd put them on C-5 aircraft or on trailer trucks, and they'd take the wing routes off, which were mounted to the body. It wasn't until Groom Air Base.
They would take all the SR-71s. They would take all the SR-71s out to Groom Air Base that way.
Yeah, on semi-trailers. Yeah.
Because they would not want it. They would not want it crashing while it was flying from Edwards to Groom, because it was super secret technology. And let's face it, just a year and a half ago in Needles, California, they had a crash of a craft that was coming from Groom Lake to Edwards, and it crashed. And a team of people showed up and recovered all the wreckage. There were guys on the river that were there that it ran into that saw the thing and said the thing looked out of this world.
Hey, Danny.
Everything they make at Groom looks out of this world.
Yeah, that's true.
Literally, the technology that it came from pretty much is that advanced.
All right, Danny. We're gonna have to close this out. We'll continue this tomorrow.